Welcome in to the Dynasty Deal Show. I'm Ty Declare 44. I am joined by Scott at Charles Chill FFB and Shane at Shane Says FF on X. We're coming to you live 8 p.m. Eastern Friday night on the members only section of the DDFFB YouTube. If you want to be here live, sign up for the Trades and Chill tier, $3.99 a month American, an extra $2 if you're Canadian. These streams go up probably the morning of the stream day, so you can get your trades in early if you can't be here live. And gentlemen, it's been cold. I don't know about you. I live in Canada, right? So it's pretty cold. We have to be defrosting our houses, our cars. How about let's defrost some of these dormant assets that we have on our fantasy rosters? I have one rule for this show. If you hear this little ditty, we got to wrap it up, move on to the next question, because we got a lot of stuff to get to. So let's start over here with our friend Mike Conron. Brings a 12-team start 11, super flex PPR to 1.75 tight end premium. He has a couple deals here. One, he sold Tootin in the 307 for Pat Freiermuth and Anthony Richardson. I'm going to stop there, Shane. There's two names that feel like dormant, frozen assets on my roster: Freiermuth, A-Rich. Are you prioritizing trying to make deals for those kind of guys? And how do you feel here? 12 by 11 sold Tootin and 3.7 for Freiermuth and A-Rich.
I don't know if I would say I'd prioritize that, but if all it takes is Tootin and a 307, I'm fine with it. I don't know though, man. Like, all right, so whatever. I don't care what you guys think. Tootin has a better chance to be worth something than Muth or A-Rich to me. Pat Freiermuth is garbage. It might be player takey, but I've watched him play football and he's not good. A-Rich is basically an XFL quarterback, and that's defunct, so he should be playing for no one. But there's also this. Here's a dirty little secret sometimes we don't talk about. Sometimes you make trades and they don't matter. If you don't win your league because you gave up Tootin in the 307, okay, sure. If Tootin goes out there and drops 1,400 yards, then you can regret it. But personally, I prefer Tootin in the 307. The 307 over Muth and Tootin over A-Rich, because Tootin can at least have the narrative of he might have a larger role next year. And maybe I could then parlay that into a second at some point.
Yeah. The windows to rise as assets, 307 in the Tootin side. That's just, I just see the value ascension, at least in the near future. Scott has another deal here. Sold Judkins for Dowdle and Jacoby Myers. How do you like that one?
Whew, a lot to unpack. I don't hate the second deal. I actually don't hate the first deal. I think the mistake Mike might have made here, and no shade on Mike, because Mike is very convicted, and I know he's a great dynasty manager. I think this might have been the itch to just make some deals, just to get something different than what I have. He probably sold Judkins at his lowest point, given that he's just not healthy, right? But he's not going to get unhealthier over the next 7-8 months. So you probably settled a little bit here, getting two guys that I value on my team. I value in a start 11, not how I want to use Judkins. Same with Tootin. I actually like Pat Freiermuth. Pat Freiermuth has always been good until he got Arthur Smith. And now he doesn't have Arthur Smith. Now he's not going to have Jonnu Smith either. Like, I actually kind of like him as a sneaky. Everyone thinks he's terrible. He's out of the league. And then he shows up next year and he's tight end 19. And you're like, wow, actually he's a serviceable tight end. But again, to Shane's point, and I like Richardson for some of the same reasons. Like, when he plays, I can probably start him. So depending on my build, I value him and Freiermuth probably more than the market. Not what I want to do with Tootin, though. ETN leaves, Tootin's worth 2 seconds at least. People are thinking, oh man, that's the next ETN, but he has juice. So it's just not what I wanted to do with the assets here. I actually don't think the return, because I'm not super convicted. I mean, Tootin, everyone kind of gives Woody Mark shit for sucking. Tootin also sucked last year. On a per touch basis, he was terrible. And then you're looking at like, wait a second, shouldn't he be good on a team like the Jags? When, you know what I mean? Like, he wasn't great as a rookie. So to think he's just going to get a better role because ETN leaves, I don't think is correct. But this is not how I want to use these assets. He says no one likes 26 picks. It doesn't matter. I think I can probably wait on Tootin and on Judkins and do something different. Second trade, I know you were going to get to that, Ty. I really don't value the 101 any less than Jake or CeeDee Lamb. They're interchangeable to me. If you wanted to trade the 101 for CeeDee Lamb because you just didn't want a running back or whatever, then fine. But then it feels like you're tacking on the 108 and you're getting, again, a guy like Dobbins who, I'd rather have Judkins and Tootin over Dobbins, but you just sold those guys for basically like third-ish values, but then you give up the 108 for Dobbins. So just in the whole, I don't really love the 3 deals together, but I don't mind the 101 for Lamb if you wanted to do that. But just too much to have to tack on the 108.
Yeah, I think I'm there with you. Just I'm in a startup right now, 101 and CeeDee Lamb, right in the same range. ADP supports that as well, right? So like that feels like a deal you can make maybe if you find the CeeDee Lamb manager on the right day. I would take Lamb 1-for-1, player take wise, but yeah, Dobbins and 108. That's where you lose me a bit there, but I think I agree. It does feel like maybe one of those deals where you were trying to do something. You had the itch. You were trying to do something on this period, but none of these deals are deals I need to do today. I do think, Tootin in the third, that side could raise up. Judkins, again, you're selling at the bottom. Dowdle and Myers, I mean, those are 2 fine pieces, right? But that feels more like an in-season move maybe than a right now move if I need to split that asset. But Shane, the team is now Caleb, JJ McCarthy. You got Mac, A-Rich, and any quarterback on a 2 deep. You have Genty, Dowdle, B-Rob, and Spears. Olave, Myers, Higgins, and Cans. Fryermuth and Theo, 101, 108, 109, 110, 12, or 2, 27 first, and a bunch of other seconds and thirds. So got a lot of pick value, decently constructed team. Any takeaways seeing the team, and does that change your opinion on any of the deals that we've seen?
Excuse me. I would be, we were talking about Chris Olave last night on the way home, kind of his value. I guess is he like your anchor wide receiver on this roster, or would you try to upgrade there? So he already moved Lamb, so clearly he doesn't care about the wide receivers, or maybe that's not the way to say it. He doesn't value them as much as he does.
Well, that was a hypothetical. That was a hypothetical. Should he give the 101 for Lamb? He hadn't done it yet.
I got you. So the 101 for Lamb straight up was fine, but the second part of that deal, yeah, that nukes it, giving up the 108 to add Dobbins. Can I give a couple seconds? No, I'm not giving a couple seconds for Dobbins. Never mind. Let me not say that. I mean, the team's fine. It's got Jenny and it's going to have Jeremiah Love. Then you've got some running backs that probably will have at least significant roles next year in Dowdle somewhere and maybe B-Rob. So I do like the team. I'd prefer a stronger wide receiver 2 on my roster, but it's not like I'm going to kill myself to get it.
Right. He says, tried using Judkins to tier up, but no dice, and trying to build a tight end stable for the flex spots with a 1.75 tight end premium.
Yeah, and, that's kind of hard to do, right? Because Judkins is, even though his value's probably not going to go down, right? Like Scott said, he can't get more unhealthy. He can't get more hurt. Well, maybe. In theory, he can't, right? We don't expect him to. But in a 1.75 tight end premium, I don't know if Judkins is the player that people want when you're trying to get into that Fannin tier. Because if you were to offer me Judkins for Fannin, I'd just hold on to Fannin. So you'd probably, well, it doesn't matter. He doesn't have him now, but you'd maybe Gadsden and something else. I probably would have held on to Judkins though, to be honest with you. And Mike, yeah, like Scott said, Mike, sometimes he needs to put the phone down. I get it, man.
We all do.
Trust me.
We all do.
Like I was sitting there last night in bed watching Better Call Saul, and I'm just sending out offers and then withdrawing them because I'm like, no, that's just I'm bored. Let's do something. Trade.
Excellent. We'll call that one there, Mike. I know you got another one in the hopper. We'll come on back to you. Let's we got a lot of people here live too. We got Mr. Jordan Jackson saying, "What it do, Mr. Jordan Jackson?" He brings us one here. So Shane and myself in talks in MD2. It's a 12-team start 11, 18 bench, super flex PPR 6-point touchdown. It's a 1.0 tight end premium, 0.05 points per rush, and a 0.15 point per rushing first down. Running backs also receive 0.5 per reception, Scott. So Shane gets 108 and his 27 first, and Mr. Jordan Jackson gets Drake London. With those running back premiums, I feel like I should move my first for running backs. The team is a rebuilder and is buns. I have some I have some team context to add here too, Scott, but talk to me about the format that's laid out here and just how you would prioritize running back versus the other positions.
So yeah, I think it's important to look at the format first because I'm still kind of wondering the team position. Like he mentions a couple things that I think could be contradictory, but it's 29-man roster, start 11. Probably you're looking at a league here. I assume you're in the league, Shane. This is 3 receivers required starting.
You know what's hilarious is it's like you don't know me sometimes. You legitimately are asking me like I have any idea how many starters there are at any position. But I will guess wildly, there's at least 3 wide receivers. Yes.
Okay. Well, I was just gonna say because if there's more than 3, then it changes the math a little bit.
There's at least
just looking
5. It's at least start 5.
I never want to flex receivers. So I just want to know how many I have to start because it's the least valuable position of the 4 in this league, especially with the 6 point per passing, the 2 PPR for tight ends, the 2 bonuses for running backs. The flexes are going to be dominated by tight ends and running backs. So I'm looking at receivers. Like it actually takes the higher end receivers higher. And if you go back to the trade, Ty, he's giving up the 108 and a 27 first to get Drake London. So it's a lot for Drake London.
There's 3 wide.
But I think in this format, if you roster construct right around it, like what I don't want to do is add Drake London to a league where I already have like 4 Drake Londons. Like I don't want to build that way. But if I get Drake London and I'm like, man, I think I can pencil him in his top 10 receiver production or better, what it does is it's a pressure valve allowing you to roster more of the other positions, and I don't need to be as strong as receiver. So it's a fair price. Like you just have to have the right moves that you make on top of that. Okay, here's this team.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm seeing,
Chase,
Chase, Io Manor, Tet McMillan, Coleman, Wicks, Mechie, Bourne, Noah Brown.
So here's the key. This allows him to add Drake London and dump 6 of those receivers. You know, I probably have to find the range that I'm comfortable with saying no more.
I mean,
Noah
probably
Brown
everyone
gone,
on this
Bourne
second
gone.
slide here. Like every wide receiver
My
here, you could probably cut.
Yeah, and here's the value of this format.
Efton Chisholm?
Get rid of all those receivers, and in 29-man rosters, I guarantee you there's other positions you can pick up. And that's the benefit, because look, in a 2 PPR, you're sitting there on Kraft, Gadsden, hell, even T. Ferg and Barner are probably startable in this format, in a 2 PPR. You have 3 flexes right there. Why do I need to carry 14 receivers that are all wide receiver 70 and below? And that's the difference that Drake London makes when you trade for him. You slide him and Jamar and you go, you know what? I have 2 of those 3 receiver spots. I never have to really worry about them the entire year. Stream 1 or 2 spots the rest of the year. You keep McMillan, Coleman, maybe Wicks, High Manor. You're good. That's your construction. But the value of that Drake London trade, overpay on paper, I think. It's an underpay if you now take the rest of your roster and fix it and make it a lot more efficient. That's the key. So good trade. Yeah. And I like it for your side too, Shane. Like if you're selling a receiver, you get the 27 and you get the hopium / I mean, who the hell knows what you can do with the 108? That's not the 112. 1 or 2 things goes right in the draft, and that 108 can be a pick that people all of a sudden are giving you a 28 first plus 4. You know what I mean? Like you never know.
No, that's why I gave him options at both, right? Because he said I told him I do need one of them. I need either the 103 or the 27 first. And if it's not that, then I need to, I'll take the 28 first. It's got to be the 103. And if it's not that, then it's the 108 and the 27 first. This league's fun for me. Every year I make the finals and I just blow the team up and then redo it. I have no picks till 2028 right now. And then I'll just keep doing this, rinse, repeat, and wash because it's an active league. Yeah, Mr. Jordan Jackson knows this is a very, very active league. It's one of APAD's leagues, actually. It's a normal APAD league. It's where Chimere DK is a top 10 wide receiver. But it's a fun league. It's a fun league. Oh,
so that's the kick return league.
Yeah.
Then I'm not paying that for Drake London. Seriously, I can with that running back premium and that tight end premium, that devalues almost every receiver across the board because it pushes more guys into that potential like wide receiver 2, 3, 4 range. So I'm not paying that for Drake London.
What wide receivers are going to produce near the level of Drake London that pushes up besides Chimere DK, of course?
it adds another ability for you to basically take the receiver position and just move the floor up a little bit. It's not as big of an advantage. Because here's what I'm guessing is not going to happen. Is he going to cut all those receivers? Some of them that could be kick returners. And if the answer is no, then you're still
should.
Well, that the advantage for London doesn't really change, assuming that now he might not be a top 10 receiver. If you have 3 kick returners that are pumping into the top 5, top 10, then he's not as valuable. But I think the second thing is, are you going to be more likely to cut like kick returning receivers?
Yeah,
I didn't see the full list of what he has, but if you're not going to lean into filling your 29 roster spots with the other stuff, then I think just trading for Drake London just because you really don't like the picks, I think is something I wouldn't do at that point.
Let's see.
So I'd have to see his whole team, but that kick return part is important, right? Because it's pushing whoever returns kicks. Like there's going to be, you don't even know maybe who those guys are going to be, but it pushes 3, 4, 5 guys. We're like, wow, that guy shouldn't be wide receiver 8, but he is because of this damn kick return yardage.
So any of these guys fit the bill for you, Shane?
None of those dudes return kicks.
Not the old guys like Bourne and
like
Jalen
literally
Taylor,
no one
Matt
on that
Collins.
list.
Right. Yeah.
Literally no one on that list is returning kicks. And anyone that has a kick returner, we ain't moving them unless you're paying wide receiver 1 prices. Chimere DK, assuming this is correct, Chimere DK was the wide receiver 2 in this league. So yeah, you're not getting any of these kick returners off of us. It's like we all discovered it the end of last season. We all just realized it, and no one's giving these dudes up.
So guys like Mims and Turpin, like they're not, you don't just get them, right? Like,
no, absolutely not. I had to pay. Chimere DK was in a deal. Obviously, he was in a deal. He was part of a package. And what did I give up? I gave up T. Higgins and Ray Rice. Rashee Rice and T. Higgins to get Drake London and Chimere DK. Like Chimere DK is a legit piece. I had to pay up to get him.
Are you in this league, Ty?
No.
Could you? I mean, this is like, in normal leagues, it's like, man, your player tore their Achilles is just detrimental, right? Here, they've removed the guy off the kick return team, and you're like, oh my God, his career's over. Chimere DK will not play special teams next year, and you're like, his whole career is destroyed.
Eric Iomanor all of a sudden is going to be is all of a sudden more valuable than him because Chimere DK won't return kicks anymore. But yeah, I mean, that's my thing with kick returners is you have to pick the right ones, right? And anyone that does pick the right ones, we're probably not moving them. And that's partly because for me to move Chimere DK, you know what I need back? I need Rashee Rice plus. So.
Yeah, fair enough. All right, let's hit this thing. Let's move on to the next one here. But yeah, I think it's happy medium there, right? You can you can make that deal happen and still go and pick up hopefully some of those kick returners and make the best of both worlds. Mick Sheamus, 12 team start 11 PPR 0.75 tight end premium, 6 passing, -2 interception. Made 3 trades, sent 102, 112 and 29. We got 105 and a mid 27 first. Sent 103 in Burden, got 101 and 211. Sent a mid 27 second and got Worthy. So Shane, 102, 211, 29, got 1.5 and a mid 27 first. I'll tell you what, if you're okay with playing the gamble between 102 and 105, getting a mid 27 first for 112 and 29 feels pretty good. How do you feel on that first one?
Yeah, so I'm good with this because I'm assuming he's just going to draft a wide receiver because that's this class, right? I'm fine with whatever wide receiver I could take at 102. I'd prefer to have the 102 over the 105, but I'm still fine with whichever wide receiver I'm going to get at 105 because Mendoza is going in one of those ranges. It's going to happen. So I'm going to have my choice of whoever's left. Either, well, I'm not going to have a choice, but one of them of Tate, Lemon, and Tyson's going to be left. We don't particularly like the 112. I think if you watch the Manic and Chill episode from Wednesday, we were struggling after about 108, 109, maybe. So if you could just flip that pick, adding a late second to get a mid 27 first, I like it. I like that a good bit.
So then you put yourself in position to take a wide receiver there. Then you turn around, you said 103 in Burden to get 101 and 211. So again, 12 by 11 PPR. I don't see a PPC, but is that a move you're making for the 101 in this class?
Sent 103 and Burden. Yeah. I mean, you're yes. This is one of those drafts where the difference between 103 and 101 is an absolute Gulf of Mexico type of spread. So yeah, I would do this. I have no idea how big the Gulf of Mexico is. I assume it's big. But yes, I would do that. I hate giving up Burden, but at least you get the 211 back to soften that impact. I mean, just think about it. Would you prefer Jeremiah Love and he traded a mid? Give me someone that's worth a 211. Alec Pierce. Would you be okay with Jeremiah Love and Alec Pierce for Burden and Kate? Yes, I would. Yes.
Before I see his roster, I'm just gonna guess what he did here, right? Like if you just think about what he had going in and what he traded away, and probably what he's angling for here. The first trade's brilliant. First trade signals to me I don't want to be stuck taking a quarterback because I bet his quarterback room is already built out, whether that's 2 good guys or 1 and then a bunch of, Anthony Richardsons, those types where I think I can get by. The first trade's brilliant. You went from 102 to 105, probably on a team where you don't want to draft a quarterback, and you picked up a 27 first. So you doubled your value in the first deal, right, Ty? You gave away the 112 and a second, and you got back a 27 first. That's a dream trade. And I don't care about the quarterback. So I don't care who somebody else goes at 102, 103. Doesn't matter to me. I'll take within the tier I already know at the 105. Second trade, I probably want a running back. I had to pay. I had to give it the 103 and Burden, but I got back a guaranteed running back. That's the trade I paid the most for, but I paid the leverage, right? Like there's a lot of people that would take Luther Burden as a free square to move back and still stay at the 103 and be fine with whatever they got. Probably the receiver whore in your league that's like, now I'm going to get Carnell Tate and Luther Burden. You're getting the next Ashton Genty who's going to be on a bad team. And then the third trade, because of what you traded away, is a great trade because you got back a guy that honestly, if you look at the ranges of outcomes, could be as good as Luther Burden, but you're getting him as a 27 second because nobody really likes the Chiefs anymore. So that third trade really supplements what you gave away in the second trade. But I bet if we go to his roster, we're going to see a team that really needs a hammer running back, doesn't care about a quarterback, and probably is set up at receivers. And there you go.
And look at that. Yes, we got Caleb Willis and backups. Got Hampton Marks and any running back on a 53. Odunze, worthy slots in there with Kyle Williams and Judy. And we got Fan and Hawk. 101, 15, 21, 22, 211, 5. 27 first in all of his futures. I mean, what we start in the mocks right now on ddffb.com there, Scott, is 2-1-2-2. That's what your Omar Cooper, other, wide receiver darts right now that we don't really know what to do with, those late seconds. You can turn those into some tight ends and a 0.75 tight end premium as well. So I don't mind having darts here as well. Well-constructed roster. And I agree. If you're playing in the wide receiver waters like that, you're going to be happy whatever falls to you at 1-5 with what we know today. And just keep making bets like that. Shane, 30 seconds on this team construction or anything else you see with those deals? Okay, excellent.
No,
good work, Shane.
The only thing I know is get Woody Marks off your team because that dude sucks. I mean, if you can find anyone to give you a second for him,
trade for Tootin, chase your tail.
Yeah, there you go. Trade Marks for Tootin. I like it. Marks for Tootin in a third.
Give you Marks in a third if you take Tootin and stick your dick in a gas tank. All right. We appreciate you, McShamus. Have a good one. All right, let's go Alec Malone. 8-2-2-9 super flex, 12 team start 11 PPR. It's a 1.75 tight end PPR. It's a 6-2 quarterback scoring. Have very little player assets after gutting the team this year. Trade. We sent away Hurts and Golden. Received JJ McCarthy, Gadsden, and a 2027 first. Yes, we've got to see a couple of players on here who feel like, they've kind of entered that dormant asset range. Golden for sure. Went from Steve Smith, number 1 wide receiver through the draft process, aside from Hunter, to he had flashes, but just he did not meet expectations for sure in this rookie year. We'll see what happens in Green Bay. JJ McCarthy, same story. Gadsden, an interesting tight end bet. He's affordable for sure if you wanted to make that bet that he could be a top 5 tight end. But talk to me here. Hurts and Golden for JJ McCarthy, Gadsden, and a 2027 first.
I don't love it, but you're probably trying to sell Jalen Hurts for a package of stuff that included a 27 first and at least one player I can build around. McCarthy and Golden, like you could kind of swing and miss on both of those guys. If you wanted one versus the other, I'm fine with either. I do think Golden is probably a little more equitable in a start 11. Like I could roster construct around having him on my team, and I'm just like, I need him to be the wide receiver 2 on the Packers. And if he is, I can probably start him as my last flex spot. McCarthy really is in that, what's the difference between him and Anthony Richardson? Other than one is on a team and the other is going to be on a different team. But like, you're just kind of hoping they get to a range where they are just usable. So I don't love getting him back, but at the same time, he was looking for a package that included a young player like Gadsden in this format is probably pretty valuable. And then the 27 first. And it's not like Jalen Hurts is Drake May or even Jaden Daniels or Lamar Jackson. Like it's hard to tier off of him and just get a package of stuff, which I think honestly makes him a good buy for the other team. Because if the other team can construct around using Matthew Golden, I'd pay this price to get Jalen Hurts on my team, especially if they needed a QB in a way that gave them even more flexibility at another position. So I don't hate it, but I'm guessing Ty was looking for the right kind of deal. I need a package. I need this package of good stuff, and the only guy he had to trade was Jalen Hurts. It sounds like he didn't have much else, and that was the guy he had to package, and this was probably the one form of deal that came in that he liked what it looked like, so he took it. And if you're right on McCarthy, you never know. McCarthy turns it around, Shane, and he's a super stud, then you smash this deal. But
yeah, that's the only way you win this deal, though. That's the only way that you win this deal. But
talk about that though. What if what if nobody ever offers him anything for Jalen Hurts ever?
Then this is
because it seems like that's where he was at. He has to move because he's my only player.
It's possible, right? Yeah, and Jalen Hurts' value on the open market isn't great. But any quarterback outside of Josh Allen and Drake May value on the open market really isn't anything to write home about. Scott's right. That kind of makes me want to buy more Hurts, except that I own him in over 30% of my league. So I can't keep doing that because, one injury and my season will be washed. I'd want a little more back, even if it was just give me a second. I say just a second. A second is a legitimate asset because you are also throwing Golden in there, who was a rookie first round pick last year. He did flash in the playoffs. So if anything, I should expect Golden to hold a little value. This is probably the best you could do, then fine. I personally have a hard on for Tyler Shuck, so I probably would have went to the Shuck owner and gone, okay, well, what do you have? What can I do with you? Because that's a quarterback. I can't believe I'm saying this, considering where they were drafted. I have more confidence in Shuck than I do JJ McCarthy. That's my biggest concern is there is a non-zero chance that JJ McCarthy turns into an absolute zero for you because his coach hates him. And his coach scapegoated his GM he scapegoated. He used his GM, getting his GM fired based off of him drafting JJ McCarthy. So that just concerns me a little bit. But I mean, it's if he comes out next year in the preseason, off season, and he looks better, then his coach will like him again, and everything will be fine. Be water under the bridge. I mean, the kid's super athletic, right? He's like Drake May, but like the Bizarro World version of him.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. I mean, I get what the difference between him and A-Rich, we haven't seen JJ McCarthy fail twice yet. Right. So he still has that appeal to it where if he does show well, does have a flash, you will have a window on him. Shane, this feels akin to the deal I made in that Justin Fields Dynasty bidding war league where I sent my Hurts, I sent Jacobs, and I sent Diggs on my rebuilding team for Sam Darnold, Drake London, and a first. I think it was a 2025 first, where out the rip, not a great deal, but I had to have things go my way to recoup some of that value. So if you're right, cool, right? The JJ McCarthy, Gadsden, a first, like all guys I want to get into. But yeah, I'm assuming this is, like you said, Scott, this is a deal. He wanted to sell Hurts. He wanted to sell it for a certain package, and this is the best that he could do. So, can't blame him for doing something with the plan. Maybe there's a better deal that comes. Who knows?
And there's if you already don't believe in Hurts, and then you go, well, he's also going to have another new offensive coordinator, and he's going to have a new quarterback coach, and he's going to have a new offensive line coach, and Landon Dickerson apparently is going to retire because he's a coward, and Lane Johnson might retire because he's an old coward. I get it. I do. Because all those things in conjunction, nope, that's not what you use that word for, but all those things together could spell disaster next year.
You may have actually used that correct. Broken clock, right? Twice a day happens. Scott, 30 seconds here. How would you play JJ on this roster, knowing that at 102, Mendoza will likely be there with everything we know today? He's got 2 firsts and 27. He's got 102, 16, 19, 10, 11, 6 seconds. JJ and Allen, or JJM and Allen.
I think you do have options. I think if you wanted to go get another quarterback that you didn't want to have to draft Mendoza at 102, like Baker Mayfield, Jared Goff, someone like that, you could probably get them with, I don't know about the 109, but you have a combination of, could I do 109 in a second, get one of those guys. And you're fine with, all you're doing it for is, I don't have to be pressured to draft Mendoza at 102. If I want to, fine, but I don't have to. The key with the 102 pick is there could be a receiver that goes in a great spot. Is like an Igbuka type right away, but in a spot where he's going to get Igbuka's early opportunities. And you may want him over Mendoza, and that's okay. But I'd want to make another move at quarterback. Or you really go gross and you just say, I'm not taking any quarterbacks in this draft at all, not trading for any quarterbacks, and I'm going to go with my 6 seconds and 7/3 and just go by Kirk Cousins and Jacoby Brissett and I have Josh Allen. Honestly, the best thing I can do is never pay anything with a 1 in front of it for another quarterback and just gamble that I can live for a year with. This is the team tie. If I could go send a second for Geno Smith, a second for Tua, a second for Kyler, and that's my quarterback room. And I know 80% of them are going to wash out, but what do I have at worst? Bunch of backups that I paid for, but if they have a better chance to start in the short term, Kirk Cousins, that's another one. You could do that and then start making picks with, some of your picks that you have early, and don't use them on a quarterback class that we already know is probably not great. So I'm fine doing it. More than 30 seconds, but that's the type of build JJ's in.
Yeah.
I need
this is the one. That's why you pay for Allen, to be able to be flexible here. You feel totally different here if JJ McCarthy's your only quarterback. Right. So yeah, I don't.
Trevor Lawrence. Then I'm like, okay, go get me Bo Nix or someone like that, and I'll just live with the result. Versus, that 100, you nailed it. This is the power of Josh Allen. You're betting on him being elite. You don't need quarterback 12 in the other slot. If you just get by with quarterback 15, 18, whatever, the rest of my roster should be able to make up for that because Josh Allen's so good.
Yeah, makes you feel slightly better moving away that Josh or Jalen Hurts, for maybe something like just for a specific package to move the team forward. I can live with it. Good stuff, Alec. Vapad does fantasy. GP, gentlemen, off-season slump is hitting hard. He's got 0 meaningful deals done this week, the first time in months. However, I do have 2 inbox offers he's considering. So the inbox has been frozen, but he's considering these ones. So send Bowers, get Laporta, Jacoby Myers, a 28 second in a 12x10 best ball, gradual PPR up to at a 0.75 tight end premium. Shane, I'll tell you what, man, I get the best ball factor. I like the idea of Laporta. Myers has been great in Jacksonville, a second. I'm just keeping Bowers. Each roster spot matters so much in best ball. I would rather have the stud tight end and build around it versus splitting that.
Yeah, I'll find some other player to split around or to split. I don't want to split Bowers in, what was it, 0.75 tight end premium.
Yeah.
No. And I like how you said it. I like the idea of Myers. The idea of Laporta. He's a concept. You know what I mean? He's not this. He's never actualized. There was this rookie season where we were like, oh, this guy's going to be elite, and then since then we went, oh, I guess not. But it was a good idea. It was a nice thought. Again, like you said, I get it because it's best ball, but No, I'm not doing it. I'm just not. Like I think I could be wrong. I think I can find a lot of receivers in best ball that can take the place of Myers that'll hit my lineup. And I don't have to figure out when because it's best ball. I can't find many, if any, tight ends that can take the place of Bowers. Trey McBride. That's it. And done.
Yeah,
so, no,
pretty much. They just play a different position than the rest of the tight ends, just the way that they're used. Well, I hope other guys can find that kind of path, but it's I'm going to stick with what I know. So Scotty has Kyler backups, Tootin Cans, JSN, Mooney, Golden, Reek, best ball guys, Bowers, and best ball guys at tight end. He's got 102, 112, 29, 210, 3, 3, 3, 3, 6, 3, 8, 4, 2, 4, 10, 2 extra 27 first, seconds, thirds, all 28. Inbox offer number 2 here. Send Kraft and Tyreek, get 105, 19, and a 2027 second. Hyper scarcely. I don't think this is related to the other league here. Only player
It's
assets are Kraft, Gainwell, Reek, Uke, Dobbins, Najee, Tanks, ton of picks. Anything on the first deal there, and then just thinking about this, already attempted counters of 1-3, 1-5, and 3-10 for them, or 1-5, 27 first, and 3-10, both rejected. Talk to me.
So, a couple things. And I'll go back to that first question real quick because I want to make a best ball point. But this league, yes, I would do the deal being proposed because it is 2.25 PPR in hyper scarce. But, and it's a start too. But this is also the kind of draft where, like, I want to draft like Max Clare, Eli Stowers at the 109, and I would take Kenyon Sadiq at the 105 if he's there. He won't be there in this league, most likely, because of the way that the tight end scoring is. But I also look at his roster. Like, Tucker Kraft is his best player. Like, this is a pretty good deal. I mean, remember, Tucker Kraft's on a volatile offense. He's got a torn ACL. Doesn't have a contract yet. Like, I would take Tucker Kraft in this league, but you're getting a good price given the fact you have zero leverage. He's your only asset. Mm-hmm. This is probably the only team in the league that's even interested in him, let alone the only team in the league that's actually offering you like this package of stuff. And then Tyreek, yeah, you're having to throw him in. But again, with this premium, he matters very little because of the scoring for all the positions. It's only a start 2 receiver league to boot. So Tyreek Hill is a guy like you just need to get rid of. And if this is what he takes to get done in this deal, then yes, I'm doing this deal, given where I know his team is. Back to the first one real quick. Ty, I want to just make this point. One thing that I can spot, this is a 12 by 10. Yes, it's best ball, but it's a 12 by 10, 35-man rosters. That's inefficient. You know what that means? Jacoby Myers is worth even less here because my opponents have 25 players on the bench to try to hit Jacoby Myers every week. Same with the second. If this was a start 13 with the same rosters, then I might be more willing to lean Jacoby Myers. But the fact that it's 12 by 10, and I know you think about this, Ty, too. Like, if it's only 12 by 10 and Myers is going to give me wide receiver 30 numbers, great. Wide receiver 30 is probably in my lineup. But my opponent can roster 5 extra receivers on his bench, and it doesn't cost him anything. They may never hit his lineup more than one time. But if they only hit his lineup 1 out of 17 weeks, but I have 5 of them, that's like 5 weeks they could nullify Jacoby Myers, which makes how many top 36 weeks is Jacoby Myers going to have, Shane? Maybe 8 on the season?
Specifically, look at that.
But let's say it's 8. I have all these extra roster spots where if I can get just one 11, 12, 13 point game out of one of those bench bums, that's matching one of Jacoby Myers' weeks. So the math is off here, which is why I don't value any. I almost play this more like a lineup league because it's so many roster spots that everybody's going to have a bunch of darts because everybody has to carry 35. So that's why I like the deal even less. I mean, Bowers truly for a Laporta pivot. You know what I need here, Vapad? A second Laporta. Find me another guy in that same range, and then you can have Bowers. But that's what it would take. I would need, like a T. Higgins or better type receiver or a running back that's like, I would need a strong 2-for-1, not Jacoby Myers in a 28 second because those roster spots are basically fake gold.
Agreed. Yeah. That's the beauty of like the format, at least, right? Is you can devote volume to a wide receiver. You can say the same about tight end, but it feels different when you have Bowers. I feel like you're allowed to be more efficient at your other roster spots when you have a guy like Bowers. And I see, Tootin Cans at running back. That means I want to address more and more, attention value-wise to running back to fill out that piece, fill out wide receiver with volume. Quarterback, we'll figure it out together, right? But that should be a fun team.
The tie, bring it back.
Yeah.
I would like to ask you though, to that point, how many tight ends are you trying to roster? What are you trying to do after Bowers?
So 12 by 10. So my general rule is I count how many flexes, like how many flexes could be filled by tight ends. So I'm assuming here, but you got 2 quarterbacks, 2 running backs, 3 wide receivers. Probably can start 3 tight ends every week. If I have a Bowers, I'll probably try to roster 4 or 5 tight ends. If I didn't have Bowers, maybe bring that out to 6. If it's a Ty Declare tight end room where I have McBride, Fannin, Kincaid, and Laporte, that's where I'll really condense it down to specifically how many flex spots I have, maybe up to 4.
Okay.
There we go. A little tight end talk in the middle of DDS. You love to see it. Let's hit Mike Conron second question here. 12 team start 10 super flex, no tight end premium. Sold Bryce and Woody for Chuba and Mondre. Then we sent DJ and Ibuka and Gadsden for Jordan Love, Zay Flowers, and Gainwell. So Shane, speaking of some frozen assets, Woody, we know your disdain for Woody. Chuba, Mondre. Mondre had a late season defrost. You'd love to see it.
Yeah.
Talked about that first deal. Bryce and Woody for Chuba and Mondre.
That's Bryce Young?
Yes.
As little as I value Bryce Young, I still think I like the Bryce Young side over Chuba, who I have no desire to roster, and Ramondre. Wait, no. Wait. No, yeah, Ramondre Stevenson, right? I'm not confusing this.
That would be the only Mondre I can think of.
I bet you for some reason. I'm getting confused with Kyle Manungai because I'm old and confusing, and they just sound similar. So I like this deal. Even I feel like I'm coming at Mike tonight, and I'm truly not. I'd prefer the Bryce and Woody side. I don't see the what's the word, the allure for Chuba and Ramondre. Now Ramondre could go out there and be the Super Bowl MVP, and I'll look silly, but I think I would hold on to the Bryce and Woody side.
Is it just like the asymmetrical upside that comes with a quarterback, where like if all the players are just good, like the quarterback naturally will be the one that gets the most value too, and if they're great, the quarterback's definitely the one that you want? Or like Scott, is there any part of that to that valuation with like a Bryce in a deal like this?
I kind of agree with Shane. Like on the surface, you're trading away a starting quarterback, which people should say on paper should give more value than just taking. I mean, we know what Chuba and Ramondre are. We're just betting that they continue to hold a role that they've held in years past again. I think we value those guys higher than the general dynasty market. Oh, and I do see the point. Like, how long have you been holding Bryce Young and going, what can I ever get for him?
Mm-hmm.
I know a couple leagues last year where on MFL where I have that roster dash tool. And no joke, every week I would just send Bryce Young out and I'm like, can I get more than a second and a third, second and a fourth? Like it just didn't matter because it was a team where I didn't have the need for a fourth quarterback or whatever I had. But he felt like a guy I'm just stuck with. And if that's Mike's case, after long enough, you hold Bryce Young and you go, unless I'm willing to build around him as part of my quarterback stable and accept that, and here's the problem with that is you probably, if you drafted him, you picked him way higher than that. So it's sometimes hard to go, well, Bryce Young is just Geno Smith with a job. You know what I mean? And that's really what he is. So I don't hate this. But again, I think for the third time tonight, you could say, Mike, you didn't have to move Bryce Young in this type of trade. You know, this feels like it's kind of the type of deal he wanted, and let's just hit accept because the format is what I like, but then maybe there was a better deal to come along. And as much as I don't really think Woody Marks is great, like the reality is he's interchangeable with Chuba Hubbard and Ramondre Stevenson probably. So you kind of gave up 2 to get 1 or gave up 1 to get 2.
And Bryce is probably one of those players that you are definitely better served holding on to in season because he holds no allure when he's not scoring points. And we can see that from this deal. Like there's no riz, no riz whatsoever. But if any youngs are watching, you tell me if I use that correctly. If kids still say that. But, there'll be a week maybe where he scores 30 points and people get the false hope that maybe he is could be a good quarterback in this league. And then, you'd be able to sell him for more. So there's just certain players that you probably shouldn't trade in the offseason, right? Like old running backs. You're rarely going to get the return that you would in season when they're scoring points. Mediocre quarterbacks. Rarely is anyone going to look at their roster and go, you know what I need to do? I need to add Bryce Young to this mix. Like no one's seeking him out. So probably better off waiting until in season for certain players like that.
So kick the tires on guys like that, but if you have them, wait till they can heat up in season. Okay, I got you.
Right.
I got you.
Like I'm trying to buy Tyler Shuck because he's that perfect. Like I think he's good, but he's not so good that people are like, oh, I can't let him go.
Right, 100%. So Scott, I'm assuming that's DJ, like Daniel Jones and Ibuka and Gadsden for Jordan Love, Zay Flowers, and Gainwell. So we sold Bryce, trading for Jordan Love. Talk to me here. Jones, Ibuka, Gadsden for Love, Flowers, and Gainwell.
Well, let's just start with the easy one. Ibuka versus Zay Flowers. I know Mike's a Ravens fan. We have talked up Zay Flowers. I think he's one of the better buys. I don't want to say he's equal to Ibuka because the market clearly doesn't say that, but it wouldn't shock me if their production levels in the same range. So I know Mike thinks that. That's his thought in this deal, that one is changing with the other. So people may go, oh, there's no way I would trade Ibuka for Zay Flowers, but that's a player take, right? So if he's fine with those things just canceling out, I bet you that's how he sees the deal. You gave up Gadsden, no tight end premium, though. So I'm looking at Gadsden like, well, if I can get one of these Mondres, Chubas, Gainwells, like really, depending on my tight end construction, which maybe we'll see on the next page, he's expendable. I don't want to flex him here. That's important. If I already have a good tight end or a comparable tight end, maybe I trade the one, like if I have Hunter Henry or someone like that, he's dead because I have Gadsden. He's now alive when I trade Gadsden away because of the format. I really don't want to have Hunter Henry on my bench in a league where I can't use him. And then I love the Blake.
Or a Helm. Would that fit the bill?
Sure. Kraft fits the bill. And he's probably harder to move than Gadsden right now. So I love the Jordan Love upgrade from Daniel Jones. That feels like what he was really trying to do here is get rid of the Daniel Jones, if you want to call it risk or whatever, but I like that part. So I think he came out ahead. This is a lot of people would see these players and go, I forget about Daniel Jones. But man, you give up Ibuka and Gadsden. That, how much sex appeal is in that trade, Shane, that I just gave up, but I can see where the better side ends up being his.
I mean, the sex appeal on those two, it is kind of like after you take the whatever the sex drug is, it's like 15 hours later, right? It's definitely not what it was when you first popped that little blue pill. The shine is worn off those dudes a little bit. He does love him some Zay. He does, and that's a Baltimore thing, because if he didn't live in Baltimore or root for Baltimore, I think he would see it with clearer eyes. But that's okay. That's okay. I mean, I think Love is a pretty significant upgrade over Daniel Jones. He can walk, which is something that I always value in quarterbacks, is the fact that they're bipedal. They can move. Thank you. It is a lot to give up. I mean, because even with their diminished sex appeal, Ibuka and Gadsden still are kind of sexy.
Perfect. All right. Well, again, when you look at it, you might see sex appeal, but yeah, using Gadsden to get a deal done, happy to do that in a no tight end premium. Ibuka to Zay, if the bet is that they can, even if Zay's 80% of Ibuka, I'm doing that to get Jordan Love for that Daniel Jones. So good stuff, Mike. Ended on a dub. Tell you what, y'all, we got 50 minutes out. How about like 12 minutes left? So we're going to kick it into gear here, people. Okay. Scott, starting with you. FF Matt D. What up, baby? 12 team, start 11, super flex, 0.75 tight end premium. Allen, Dak, and backups. Cook, and a bunch of running back 2s and 3s. Then Gainwell, Monty. He's got Chase, London, Trey Harris, Parker Washington, a couple of others in that range. Ferguson and Garbage at tight end. Only had the 101 for picks this year. He traded 101 London and a 27 second for Genty, 1-6, 307, and a 2027 first, which could be mid-ish. Because he plans to go BPA at the 106 and go into season with the extra 27 first to spend if he needs it. Thoughts on Sadiq at the 106 with this premium, or will it likely be too early? So 0.75 tight end premium, 1.6. Sadiq, is that too early? It feels like that's probably what's going to end up just being propped up in that range in a format like this, Scott.
Let's break down the trade. Honestly, Love and Genty, 101 and Genty, you could just wash those two picks. And then you got 106 and a 27 first for London. I think earlier you guys were talking about Shane did the 108 and a first for London in a weird receiver scoring league. So I'm fine with the trade. The only thing I would say is don't be married to Sadiq at 106. I mean, the format's fine, but you know when Sadiq's good in this format is if he's a top 15 tight end, top 12 tight end. He's good. I mean, you only have Jake Ferguson. You can probably flex Jake Ferguson if Sadiq is also startable. But the beauty of the 106 right now is I don't have to pick one player. If I think there's a tier of 5, I just need one good thing to happen on draft night. And I'm sitting in a spot where people may want my pick. So don't get married to it. Don't tie it to Sadiq or another player. It might have some more value than you actually think. That's why I like it. If this was like the 108, I would have been like, I don't have to do it. 106, I think, is in that catbird seat, though. Anything positive happens for any player other than those top 5, and you're sitting pretty with the value of that pick.
Shane, 12 by 11, 0.75, 106, or Kyle Pitts?
I'm sorry, run 106.
12 by 11, and it's a 0.75 tight end premium. 106 or Kyle Pitts?
Well, if I'm going to be drafting Sadiq at 106, I think I'd rather just take Kyle Pitts at that point. But is there any way we can get Michael Penix to retire before I have to make this deal? Because I feel a lot better holding on to Kyle Pitts if that's the scenario. I think I would take the 106 because, yes, there's going to be something that happens that can make that pick more valuable. And at work, the worst case scenario is that I end up drafting Sadiq. And as good as Kyle Pitts was last year, it's not like he wasn't a difference maker. Oh, I lost connection. Well, that's fun.
Okay.
We still no reason you. For that. I'm here. Oh, no, camera's just going to not work. But anyway, so he wasn't a difference maker except for a few weeks. So I probably would be okay with making this deal.
He was the big time difference maker 1 week for sure.
Yeah.
Shane, I'm going to stick with you while we still have you for the audio here. Diaz, I think we're missing a slide here, big dog, but I'm going to assume you have like a 14 team start 22 with major score, but we'll call it a 12 by 11 here. He has some players listed, but the crux of the deal, sending Teterour McMillan, Manungai, and the 309 to get Olave, Gainwell, and the 209. I see you. This is good. Tet Manungai 309 for Olave, Gainwell, and 209. Let's call it a 12 by 11, Shane.
Okay, so Tet and Olave, do they cancel each other out in your mind? Or is Tet the rookie of the year, offensive rookie of the year, is Tet in a different level than Olave?
They're back-to-back on KTC, so you can basically have your preference.
Okay, there you go. So those are the same dude. Manungai and Gainwell.
Manungai, please, but yeah.
But not by a full round.
No.
To me, not by a full round. So I do like the Olave Gainwell 209 side. Just doing basic arithmetic, which is about my speed. I would take the Olave Gainwell and 209 side.
Perfect. Tailor made 3-2, 3-5, 12 team start, 10 Superflex PPR. It's a 0.75 tight end premium. We got Knicks, JJ McCarthy, and backups. We got Kenny Walker, Javonte, Chuba, Brian Robinson, Burden, Hunter, Dobbs, Bryant, Booty. We got Fannin and Helm. 101, 102, 105, 108, 26, 27, 34 to 38, and 427 first. Should I go Mendoza at 102 or wide receiver? Also want to move off the 108. Would you move 108 and Devontae to move up to 104 or try to acquire 27 first with the assets separately? I'm just going to pass this over to you, Scott. You take it however you want to here. 12 team start, 10 Superflex PPR, 0.75 tight end premium.
So Taylor, you got a lot of assets to play with, which is good. I like how you've already set it up. I don't have to go Mendoza 102. Especially with 427 first. My team's probably not in a position to do a lot of damage this year. So If you don't feel comfortable, again, we talked about it 10 minutes ago. You can. You don't have to. If there's a receiver you think is, oh, that's the next Justin Jefferson, then you don't have to take a quarterback just because he's a quarterback. 108, 206. I'm spamming that to every team that hasn't traded me their 27 first already. Make them all say no. Yes, I'd be willing to acquire 104 for Javonte in the 108 if that's what it took on a roster like this. But you're probably a year away. So it's still in consolidation mode. I mean, 427 first with 3 or 4 like really good assets. You already have Knicks. You're already going to have the one. Like you already have a good enough team to where next year you're going to be in the mix if you're willing to move those picks. If those picks are as gold as we think, you're set up great, especially if you can get another one. So just be aggressive, trying to consolidate. Also, the less Javonte Williams types you have on your team, the better your picks end up becoming next year. So a lot of moves to make. Good job.
Excellent. Was that a USA chant, Scott,
No.
Shane?
No, it's B. Aggressive.
Oh.
Be aggressive.
Excellent.
Yeah.
It's the Olympics, you know, a little spirit goes a long way. Spartan kick, 12 team start 10.
Yeah, that's right. The Olympics are kicking off, so we're enemies tonight.
I guess so. Sure.
Yeah, I guess because America versus Canada in Spelunking or something. All right. Anyway,
Spelunking. Excellent. Yeah. Stick around for those Spelunking takes after the show. 12 team start 10 Superflex PPR 1.5 tight end premium here from Spartan Kick. T-Law, Shuck, your boy Shuck, and Cans at running back, AJ Brown, Olive, DJ Moore, and Joku. 102, 111, 112, 327 first. Love having the 27 first in the back pocket. Is Fernando a lock at 102? Should I be looking elsewhere with the pick or trade it? So I kick this over to you now, Shane.
Fernando. Is he a lock? No, because I personally think Mekhi Lemon's the 102, but it's also February 6th. So talk to me in about another month and a half and see where I'm at. Yeah, if you want to trade it, sure. But again, just wait until closer to the draft. There's some things you don't have to do. You don't have to trade the 102 right now. Like the 102, like we know the 101 is Jeremiah Love. The 102 is a mystery box of excitement of what could happen. Mendoza could end up being much more hyped. And I've seen a couple people on Twitter actually say that they would take him at 101 because people say things out loud sometimes that they shouldn't. So there's still plenty of time for the hype to build around Mendoza and or another player that could be in that pick. So I'm not in a rush to move it. I'm not. I hate being this guy because I'm like, addicted to trades. You don't have to make every trade. You don't. You can hold on for a little bit. Go to one of your other leagues and make trades there. Or you know what? Try to trade the 111 and the 112. If you want to compete this year, maybe throw around one of those 27 first. Not all of them. You got 3 of them, but you don't need to move the 102 right now.
Yeah. No, I'm with you there, Shane. We have the combine. We have the actual draft. 102 sets you up where you're not going to get Love, and that's fine. You're going to get the best of the rest. But yeah, we saw Cam Ward go 101 real life and ended up like 106 in our rookie drafts, right? So not a lock, but it's either him or one of those wide receivers. I'm not in a hurry to move it right now. I'll wait. I'll wait for the right deal, the right thing to come around there. So just hold on to that thing there, Spartan Kick. Let's go to AJ McMahon, 9471, 24 team, 2 copy Superflex, 1.25 PPR for wide receiver Scott. He gave up McMillan, Ted Aurora, and Jacoby Myers, and a 26 first around the 109. The league hasn't rolled over yet, so hard to tell exactly. Fair enough. So what was that? Tet for Jacoby and a 26 first of 109. How do you feel?
Well, I also don't know. Is it 109 with the 2 copies, or is it 109 projected to be the 117 or whatever it would be equivalent?
We'll go with the second there, like this.
Yeah, I was gonna say if that's the first one, then I'm definitely open to doing that because it's a free Jacoby Myers. I think it's probably fair to give up McMillan for one of those top 4 or 5 picks. I don't hate it. I mean, we don't know the number of starters. We just know it's 2 copy. 1.25. I mean, we like Jacoby Myers. I actually was talking to Ray on the Trinity show. Like, he feels like the guy in Jacksonville you could just project for what he's always been. He's good, not great. Just not really an asset, especially with more teams to trade with. Maybe I could have done better. Maybe not. He knows the league. I think in my experience with 2 copy leagues, Ty, I know you have plenty of experience with them. There's usually a deal to be had. There's just more teams to do deals with. So again, like this is one of those. That's a theme for tonight, Shane. You don't have to trade Tet McMillan for this trade today. You know, you might have been able to do better. You might have been able to pivot to something different. Didn't have to do it. So shout out to AJ. It's fine, but it's not a deal that I'm like rushing. Oh man, I'm inspired to go send this one out tonight when we're done with the show.
Fair enough. All right, well, let's we got one more here. Shane, I know you want to get to bed, but we'll get one more here for AJ. 12 team start 10 Superflex PPR 2-point tight end premium. The team is Mahomes, Lawrence, and Dart, Henry, CMC, Taylor, Judkins, Monungai, and Cans. That's a heck of a running back room. AJ Brown, Jefferson, Myers, Michael Wilson, Tyreek, Kelsey, Schultz, and Engram. He was offered Loveland and the 101 for Dart, Judkins, and 111. I like Loveland and 101. Dart, Judkins, 111 here in a 12-team start 10 Superflex PPR 2-point tight end premium, Shane.
Oh, the gas tank would be in so much trouble right now, but in a good way. Yeah, give me Loveland in the 101. I don't, it's not particularly close for me, to be quite honest with you. That's a blowout. I feel like AJ like held that in reserve just in case, because you notice he just put it up, right? Or maybe he just put it up. I think he held that in reserve in case we didn't like his last deal, just to brag. It's a good deal, man. I like it. I like it a lot.
Just put a hurting on that gas tank. I'll tell you what, that is it. That's where we call it. That's it's not getting better than that, AJ. So keep doing that deal for sure. And thank you to everyone who showed up tonight. We have Mike Conron, Mick Seamus, Alec Milan, Vapad, FF Matt D, Diaz, TaylorMade, Spartan Kick, AJ. Saw some more names in here too. We appreciate everyone that does come here live. Sweatpants in the chat, everything there. Let us know what else do you want to talk about on the show. Like you let us know in the chats. We love you. We added this thing. Peace.